Hey everybody! So this video is going to wrap up everything that we have covered in our lessons on description and narration. So we started back in week 2 where we introduced this lesson, and the first sub-tab in that lesson of the week 2 module under description and narration was the essay number 1 narrative essay assignment packet. There was a video that explained that assignment packet, and I'm going to talk about that again here towards the end of this video. We also had a PowerPoint on description and a PowerPoint on narration, and then a video lesson that covered the material presented in both of those PowerPoints. For homework in week 2 assignment 1, you had 6 sample narrative essays that you needed to read and answer some questions about. We also discussed those sample narrative essays in the week 2 discussion and the week 3 discussion, right? Those sample narrative essays are so helpful to students when it comes time to write your own narrative essay. So even if you have not done that assignment yet and you missed those 2 discussions, you need to go back and read those essays. Even if you read the essays but didn't watch my video lessons covering those essays, you need to go back and watch the video lessons. They will help you tremendously in terms of what this narrative essay is all about and what I am expecting you to try to do when you write yours, right? Week 3, we reviewed narration and description a little further. We discussed the sample narrative essays. That's where you can find the video lesson discussing the 6 sample narrative essays. It's in the week 3 module under the description and narration tab. For week 3's homework, you had to do the essay number 1 workshop. It was week 3 assignment 2, and that is where I asked you to basically decide on the topic for your first essay. And I asked you to address the rhetorical situation. What's your focus topic? What's your angle? What's your purpose? Who's your audience? And what type of voice and tone do you plan on using? All of that material, all of those exercises have combined to lead us to this place where we are wrapping up the lesson on description and narration, and you are about to write your rough draft. That will be explained in the homework tab for this week. But right now I want to go back to that assignment packet to make sure you understand exactly what is required of you for this first essay. So if you look at, go back and if you review it, the narrative essay assignment packet for essay number 1, it is a 3 to 4 page narrative essay. Think back to what a narrative essay is all about. It is telling a story about something that you have actually experienced that was significant to you for some reason. Or maybe it's a moment that you're going to create significance for, kind of like Fear the Laundry in A Brief and Unpleasant Run-In with My Ex. It doesn't have to be a life-changing, dramatic moment. It can be a funny moment that you're going to exaggerate for us. But it can be a deeper emotional moment as well, as we've seen in some of the other essays that we read. How you approach it is totally up to you, but it needs to be something you have actually experienced, and you need to get 3 to 4 pages typed and double spaced out of it. Once you add in that double spacing, 3 to 4 pages about something you've actually experienced, that comes pretty easily for most students. You really don't want to go past 5 pages because then it becomes a bigger project, okay? So try to keep it around that 3 to 4 page, maybe 5 page limit. Make sure that you have reviewed all the material that we've covered in the week 2 and week 3 modules. Go through the PowerPoints, read the sample essays, watch the video lessons. They are super helpful. Chapters 2 through 5 and chapter 10 from the textbook are also super helpful. Don't forget to think about the rhetorical situation. Hopefully you did that in the essay number 1 workshop, but just don't forget that that is a huge component of writing an essay. If you're telling me this story and I can't figure out what your point is, then you haven't fully addressed the rhetorical situation. I don't know what your purpose is. If you have written a story about the birth of your first child and it's just like every other birth story, then you haven't thought of a good angle. You haven't thought of something that's going to make yours different or unique, right? Important things to consider. Once you have gotten my feedback from your essay number 1 workshop, you'll know whether or not you are in good shape to proceed. And if you're not, then we'll work on it and get you there, okay? But please do not attempt the rough draft of essay number 1 until you have gotten my feedback on the essay number 1 workshop. It will be super helpful for you. Don't forget, this is a formal essay, so you want paragraphs, you want an introduction that grabs our attention, you want body paragraphs, you want a conclusion. It is a story, so you have a little bit more freedom with the language and the tone that you use, but just remember it is still a college essay as well, so you don't want to go too far on the informal side. And do your best to proofread for grammar and mechanics and things like that. If you have still not done the essay number 1 workshop and you're still not sure of a topic, remember page 2 of the assignment packet lists some possible topic ideas for you. Maybe that will help you. And then you can do the essay number 1 workshop, get my feedback, and then move on to the rough draft. Please get my feedback before you attempt the rough draft. Please make sure that I have given you the okay and said, yes, this sounds like a good game plan. Okay. Pages 3 and 4 of the essay assignment packet, remember, are graphic organizers that you can use if you want. Page 3 is a graphic organizer to plot out the actual events that you're going to cover in the story so that you know which ones are important enough to focus on and the order. Make sure you have the timing right, the sequence right. And then the 4th page is the graphic organizer to help you come up with sensory details. You don't have to submit either of those graphic organizers, so I'm not going to see them. I'm not going to check them, but that chart for coming up with sensory details can be helpful. Remember, that is a huge part of narrative writing, is the description, the sensory details. That's why we looked at description along with narration for this lesson. Okay, so use those to help you. They aren't required, but they can be beneficial to you. You're going to be working on the rough draft for homework this week in week 4. I'll explain it a little more under the homework tab, but just remember that this essay packet will provide you with a lot of answers if you're still unsure of anything for essay number 1. If you still have any questions about any of the material that we talked about with description and narration, go back and review the PowerPoints, review the sample narrative essays, review the chapters that we've looked at, and then also come to me if you still have any questions or if you're still unsure of certain things. Make sure that you do the essay number 1 workshop from week 3 homework if you have not already. If you are late submitting that, if you haven't done it yet, once you do it, just maybe send me a text message. My phone number is there under Meet Your Instructor on the Getting Started tab. Send me a text message and say, hey, I just submitted essay number 1 workshop. Can you please look at it as soon as you get a chance? And as soon as I get a chance, I will go look at it, read it, and give you my feedback. Because you are getting the rough draft as homework this week in week 4, so we don't want to get too far behind. So if you have not done the essay number 1 workshop yet, do it as soon as you possibly can. Send me a text letting me know to check it as soon as I possibly can. I'll give you my feedback, and then you'll know if you're in good shape to move forward with the rough draft because it is homework this week. I think that about sums up everything for the description and narration unit. Just know that a lot of what you need to be successful on this essay has already been discussed in the weekly modules and in the video lessons. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns about anything. Otherwise, I look very forward to reading the rough drafts that you guys come up with. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed the lessons and the sample narrative essays on description and narration. So thank you.